Tracy here with Paper Closet Designs. In today's video, we are working on winter Gable boxes. So for Christmas, I had these little Gable boxes that we did, and they are just the perfect size for so many things. You could put a little pair of socks in there, some gloves. I made them thinking that I would put those little loaves of bread in there. I make a really good pumpkin chocolate chip bread, and I was going to do that for Christmas, but time got away. It didn't happen. But I did use them and filled them up with a lot of different things, and they were really fun. So I decided to do some winter ones. I have two. We have a snowman and a penguin, and we are just going to go ahead and get started. So I'm going to move the penguin out of the way, and we are going to start with our little snowman. So these all come with a printable sentiment on them, and so you can use that or you can leave it blank. And as we go through, I'll kind of show you the different pieces and what I did with it. So the first thing is we have the snowman, and as we assemble him, I will show you all the little pieces that go together. He's really easy to do. And then there's an extra snowflake. You have the banner, or not the banners, the embellishment. This is the frame, and this is the embellishment panel, and then there's two more. And I printed these with the snowman swirl paper there's a kit on my site that you can get, and there's 9 patterns, and this is one of them. And so I used that one. You could also just cut it out of solid cardstock like I did with the Christmas one. And then the little frame. You have the printable sentiment. This one says there's snow buddy like you, and it has the little snowflakes on it. You'll have this piece, and this goes on the inside of your box and just makes it a little bit sturdier, especially if you're putting something heavier in it, like the loaf of bread or maybe some chocolates or something. This is an optional piece. And then you have your 2 Gable box pieces, and they are exactly the same. So we're going to start with this. So I'm going to move these kind of out of the way. And all you're going to do is you're just going to fold all of the score lines down, with the exception of this one right under the handle. So we'll start with that one. That one gets scored up. I'm going to lay it down. Okay, and then everything else gets scored down. There are score lines on these little wings. You don't really need to fold those. Those are just there kind of to help you guide your sides in. Okay, so now we're going to score this down. It goes all the way across. And I do like to use a bone folder or something. I've got my scraper tool, so we're just going to do that. Your tab is going to be folded down. The middle score line is going to be folded down. These are called mountain folds. And then the 2 bottom tabs. And then we're going to do the same thing with the second piece. Everything gets folded down except that line right under the handle. Oops. There we go. Then everything else is folded down. The tab, the middle piece, and the bottom tabs. Okay, to assemble the box, we're not going to completely assemble it first. We're going to decorate it, but I have found that it's easier to put these 2 pieces together, put the embellishment panels on, and then add whatever is left, your embellishment. So I'm going to just put tape right on this tab. I'm right-handed, so it's easier for me to turn it upside down. And then we're just going to match the straight edge with the tab. And just line up where the crease lines are, right along the score line. Press it, and then make sure that it's going to fold at a good sharp corner. Okay, so let's go ahead and put the embellishment pieces on. Now I will usually decorate the, oops, sorry, you can't see what I'm doing. I'm gonna move this into the camera a little bit. Okay, I usually decorate this piece right here. It doesn't really matter. It's not gonna make any difference really. So the first thing I'm gonna do is take my sentiment, let's hold it the right way, and we're gonna glue it to that middle panel. And you can use glue or a tape runner, doesn't matter. Just center it. And then we're gonna take this frame, and it's kind of skinny, and I'm gonna glue it to the top. So because it's so skinny, I like to use my glue bottle, and I didn't check it, so let's hope there's glue in there. And just put it along the edge there. Yep, we're good. I do use the Scotch tacky glue, and I put it in a needle nose, not quilling bottle. So it's got that tiny needle, or I don't know what you'd call that. Anyway, the thin top. And I just get these off of Amazon, or you can buy them at your craft store. And when I put the glue in there, I'll add just a couple of drops of water to thin it out a little bit. Okay, then this is just gonna go right on top, like that. And then we can tape on the rest of these embellishment panels. Now the side ones, this is not a perfect square, it's still a rectangle. So you wanna make sure that you've got it going in the right direction. These patterns are repeatable patterns, so if you're using it to fill out something big, you're not going to get a line where the patterns repeat. It's going to be a seamless repeating pattern. And I do have a video on how to use digital paper, and I have one for both the Cricut and the Silhouette. So I will put a link down below to show you how to do that. I really like using digital paper because you buy it once and you can use it as many times as you want, plus you can resize the pattern. So that's one of the bonuses. Okay, so we're gonna put that on there. And then I'm gonna go ahead, I didn't get that on there very straight. Ooh. I'm gonna go ahead and finish assembling the box at this point. So I'm gonna flip it upside down again because I'm right-handed, and we're gonna put tape on this piece right here, this tab. Then I'm going to, whichever side you put your sentiment, you want to skip that tab. So I'm going to put tape along this tab right here. I'm actually going to do it not quite at the bottom, a little ways up, and on the two shorter tabs, skipping the tab that is right underneath your sentiment. That way when you fold it, you have a seam here and not a loose tab. Okay, so now we're gonna flip it over, and we're gonna put tape on the tab that we skipped. And I am gonna put that right along the edge. Let's fold it up. Watch your tabs that they don't stick to each other, and match up that edge with your tab. And if you're just working on a flat surface and not around a camera stand, it's a little bit easier. You just want to make sure that you get a really crisp corner. Okay, now we're going to flip it over, and I like to flip it with the sentiment facing me. You're going to push the two side tabs, or the two shorter tabs, in first. The back tab that has tape on the outside, and then the inside tab, or the front tab that has the tape on the inside. I'm just gonna flatten that down. And then if you're using this piece, you can tape it or glue it to the inside, or you can just simply set it in. And if you've got something really, really heavy, you could actually cut 2 or 3 of those inside pieces and glue them together to give it some stability on the bottom. Now fold the handles, and these little wings go through the slots on the side. And the Gable box is all done. So now we're going to assemble our snowman. So the snowman, we have a large snowflake. That actually isn't part of the snowman. It's going to go up on the top. We have a small snowflake. We have his scarf, a hat band, and the hat, 2 coal buttons, 2 hearts, the white part of the snowman and the black part of the snowman. You'll want to cut this solid piece out of black or whatever color you want his eyes and his mouth to be, because that is what's going to show through. I'm going to lay that down. I'm going to take glue. You could also use your tape runner, but this has some small pieces, so I like to use the glue. And glue that on there. Just make sure all the edges match up. Okay, then we're going to glue his hat on next. Oh, my glue's not coming out. I don't know if I've got a glue. Whoa! Whoa, whoa, whoa. Wipe that down. It came out really fast. Just going to put his hat on there. It's still really wet. Take the hat band. Now that I've got all this glue. I bumped it. I'm sorry. I'm making a mess over here with all my glue. And it is kind of hard to see that against the white background. There it is. Okay, then we're going to take our hat band. The scarf. The scarf is just one piece. You could ink it up. You could cut this out of like a polka dot or striped pattern if you wanted to, which I think I did on the penguin. His little hearts are his cheeks if you want them. If you're making it more masculine, you could leave the little hearts off. Oh, there goes my dog. I think somebody's in the... There's a church parking lot right behind us, and he likes to bark anytime there's a car in there. Okay, and then we've got his coal buttons. And all this glue will dry clear. And then the little snowflake I'm going to glue right onto the tip of his hat. Or not the tip, but the edge right there. Okay, on this one, because this is white and the sentiment is white, I would suggest either inking up the edges of your snowman, or the simplest way to do this is put foam tape on the back of him. And that'll just pop him up off of that background a little bit. So I buy my foam tape in the bulk. And you can get it, most craft stores sell it like this on the ring, or you can get it on Amazon. And we don't want, if you're gluing it on, you do not want to put glue on his hat, because he's actually going to poke up above there. So I'm going to just put the tape down on the bottom, the middle 2/3 of the snowman. Then we can just line him up and put him on there. You want to make sure that your sentiment is still readable. And then we have this other snowflake that you can put right up here on the top, or you could put it down here. You could cut a bunch more of these out if you wanted to. And there is our little snowman tote. There's Snow Buddy like you. Wouldn't that be fun to put a pair of gloves and socks and give it to your friend, your neighbor, your coworker. So many cute things. Some cookies, hot chocolate mix, anything. Okay, that is the snowman. Let's go ahead and do the penguin next. So the penguin has pretty much the same pieces except for obviously the penguin. So we have the inside piece that again is optional, our little layered penguin, and I will show that to you in a second. It also has an extra snowflake. The sentiment on this is, it's the season to be freezing. The frame, the embellishment panels, and the two gable pieces. This again is another pattern from that Snowman Swirls. And this one just says let it snow, and it's in pink. So fun. Okay, so let's go ahead and once again do our gable box. So we're just going to press or fold this first line under the handle up. There's the score lines. The tab gets scored down. I do have some Valentine gable boxes that I'm working on too that I'm really excited. I think they're going to turn out really cute. So same thing, fold this the line under the handle up, and everything else gets folded down. Let's match up these tabs first before we go any farther. I'll put some tape on this tab right here. Flip it over, and then we are going to match this up. Just looking at the screen, and this box looks really blue on my screen. It's actually kind of a teal color. Okay. And then we can go ahead and put the embellishment panels on. We're going to start with It's the Season to Be Freezing. And if you skip forward to this gable box and miss the snowman, I like to do my sentiment on the left. Yeah, right here. Sorry, I got sidetracked. Right here. We're going to just put some tape on it. It doesn't really matter which side you do it. I just kind of get in the habit of doing it on this side. So we're going to line that up. And then take our frame and our glue. Put a little bit of glue around the frame. And then line that up. Like that. And we have the large rectangle and the two smaller ones. And I showed this on the other gable box, but I'm going to do it again. Your middle piece, your square, is actually not a square. So you want to make sure that it's running in the right direction. And we can just tape or glue all of those right on to the box. There we go. Once those are on, we can go ahead and assemble the box. So I'm going to flip it over because I'm right-handed, and I'm going to put tape on this tab right here. flip it to the side, and we're going to put tape on every tab except the one underneath the sentiment, the front. And I'm not going to do it quite clear down on the bottom. I'm going to come up just a little ways so that it doesn't get stuck on the edge. And then we're going to flip it over, and the tab that does not have tape, when we flip it over, we're now going to put tape on it, and we are going to put it right along the edge. Okay, then we can go ahead and match up these two corners. Oh, I forgot to score one corner. So go ahead and match up those corners, and just make sure that you're not sticking your tabs together yet. Let me get that in the view of the camera again. Flip it over, and I like to bring the sentiment towards me. And we're going to turn the two side tabs in first, those two shorter ones. Bring up the back one, it has the tape on the outside. Then flip in the front one that has the tape on the inside. Match that all up so it's nice and square, flip it over, and just press. And then you have your inside piece that's optional if you want to stick it in there. Hold your handles in, and those little tabs just poke out of the side. Now I'm not doing this on this one because I'm going to fill it. But if your handles start to poke out, you could put just a little tiny dab of glue or tape in between those. I don't do that, but if you've got a lighter weight paper and they're popping open, that's an option. Okay, so there's that. This says it's the season to be freezing. We're gonna do our little penguin now. And he has a couple more pieces than the snowman, but he's not very difficult. So we have his 2 feet and his beak. We have 2 black eyeballs. Come on. We have the 2 white pieces of the eyes and the blue part of the eyes. We have a scarf, earmuffs, which are optional. If you don't want to use those, you don't have to. His body, and then the whole piece. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the body first, or the inside of the body, I guess you'd call that. And you're just going to lay it on there. And you don't have to match it exactly, but see where those 2 pieces come in? You kind of want those to come in. Let me hold this up closer. So you want that little corner to match this corner, and that little corner to match this corner. Does not have to be perfect, but then everything else will fit on there the way it's supposed to. And I'm getting glue everywhere again. Okay, so next we've got our feet. We're going to add our feet. And they do overlap a little bit, so you could ink them up if you wanted to. Okay. Then I'm going to add my scarf next. And it just goes from corner to corner. And now we can do the eyes. So we've got the blue part of the eyes, or the colored part. Then the white parts. And then the black pieces, and you can put those black pieces anywhere you want, depending on the look that you want your little penguin to have. They can be cross-eyed or moving in different directions. I'm just going to have mine looking straight out. And then the beak. And the beak kind of goes over the eyes a little bit and over the scarf as well. So he can be done at this point, or you can add the earmuffs. It's completely up to you. The earmuffs just kind of go across his hair and on the side, and they just take a little bit of glue. You don't want to do too much. But I didn't want to make him any bigger because then they looked funny. So there you go. Whoops. There's our little penguin. So now I'm going to glue this or tape it to the front of the box. I'm going to actually take my foam pop dots again, or foam tape. And you'll notice when he's on there that his head is above the edge of the box. So you don't want to put tape or glue behind his head. So I'm just going to do it down the middle part of him. I'm going to flip him over. Whoops, you can't even see what I'm doing. Flip him over. And just lay him on there so that you can see the sentiment. If you did a blank sentiment, you could actually put him right in the middle. And once that glue dries, and you can't, that'll be better. And then you've got the little snowflake if you want to put it right up here. And when that dries, it'll be a lot clearer. And there are our two boxes. It's the season to be freezing with a little penguin. There's nobody like you with this snowman. Such fun little gifts for the winter. Warm somebody's heart. Thank you for joining me today. I hope that you've enjoyed these videos and you'll give one of these files a try. Please hit subscribe down below so that you don't miss any of my videos. Give me a thumbs up and have a great day.